So this week we're just going to talk about like SEO basics and sort of checking on your digital fingerprint. For me, I'm going to show you guys like some stuff under my current name and then some stuff under my maiden name, just because my search history is so much longer for my previous name than my current name. And I want to give you some good examples of stuff you don't want people to find. Okay, so can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, I know it's crazy busy. I also need to prioritize cleaning off my desktop, but all right. So first thing we're gonna do is I wanna talk about cohesion across all of your sort of platforms. So this is something Ashley and I have been talking about a lot. What I mean to say is your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your website, you kind of want them all to be found under the same name. So for example, if you go to my business page, you'll see that it's facebook.com/rrodriguez253. That is my handle here as well. And then that is my handle on Instagram. And then if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see it's my name here too. These are just little things that help Google search and other search engines, but we are trying to appease Google most of all. These are things that Google is looking for in order to find the best possible search results. Like Google wants to put the right results in front of people because that's how they maintain their business, right? That's how they get their advertising money, is being people's one-stop shop. So making sure that those little things are cohesive is ideal. Also on here, so you want to look at your business page and it looks good. So then if I go to my personal page, ideally on here, you would want it to say works at Realty One Group Turnkey, works at Robyn Rodriguez Real Estate. I don't have that on mine because I'm a spicy meatball. And I just don't want people to assume that my opinions are the opinions of everyone in our brokerage, because that's not our thing, right? It's like, we want you guys to all kind of be who you want to be. So let's look up Craig, because I know I've done this for him. So if you go to Craig's page, for example, this is his personal Facebook page. This is his best friend's house that he ended up listing. So it's kind of personal because a lot of his friends know this house, but it's also branded to his business. If you guys don't want to have your personal page associated with your business, that's totally fine. There's a bunch of reasons. If you have children, if you're like me and you're a spicy meatball, like you don't always want people bridging between your business life and your personal life. So this is totally optional. But on here, I've got him as the managing broker of Team Tuttle, and then it links to his business page, and then owner and designated broker at Realty One Group Turnkey. I have to switch that because he stepped down and Isaac stepped up. But either way, people can find our brokerage page and his business page here. Same thing on Instagram. So I really wanted his page to be 253 Craig Tuttle, and we had that for a long time, but with Craig, he just doesn't go on his Instagram that often. And there is another Team Tuttle in the country. It's a mortgage group, I believe, like on the East Coast. So instead of trying to combat with the other Team Tuttle who already had the username, we are focusing now as Team Tuttle Tacoma. So if you go to his business page, you'll see I updated our handle to be Team Tuttle Tacoma. I know Ashley was talking about being concerned, like if she said, Ashley Dix sells Kitsap or something, that you're limiting your location. You're really not, like I'm R Rodriguez 253. That means that my specialty areas are going to be like the area codes 253. That doesn't mean I don't serve 425s. It doesn't mean I don't serve 360s. I'm licensed in Washington. I move up and down the coast, but it's still kind of my area of expertise. So that is why we've got that in here. Another thing I want to show you guys is sort of checking in via location. So something you'll see a lot is you'll see these posts and then it'll say where they were posted. Right now, since I'm signed in, it shows like posted by Robyn Rodriguez, but it says Team Tuttle is in Ocean Shores, which is where this listing is. And then Team Tuttle is in Puyallup, Team Tuttle's in Tacoma, Team Tuttle. And then we have the hashtags that match kind of where we are locating our geotags. So search engine optimization kind of works in a hybrid of ways. So they're looking for keywords, which are going to be found in your caption. And remember that Google can't see this. Like this picture that says 2 parcels sold in Tacoma, none of this shows up to Google. This just shows up as a big X. And so you want to make sure that whatever you're talking about in your post, you also have those keywords here in your caption. And then you've also got similar keywords that match your caption, you know, selling 2 parcels sold. So we've got Tacoma real estate, Tacoma, Washington, Tacoma, WA, in the hopes that people that are following these hashtags that check on these locations, they're eventually going to see these posts and end up coming to our page. I know it also feels like there's a lot of places that people can go. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to share my social media with everybody. It feels kind of overwhelming. So there's a couple different ways that you can kind of keep your personal web working for you. So if we go back to my Instagram, for example, I've got my bio here. To be in adherence with the license law, I say that I'm with ROG Turnkey, because if people click on that, it's going to take them to our business page where they can discover who we are. Like that's all we really have to say, is that you're not your own brokerage, that you're working for a brokerage. You can put just the name Realty One Group Turnkey. It doesn't have to be the handle. I just did it because it's fewer letters than writing the whole name out. Then in here, I've got the link tree. So something that kind of sucks about Instagram is, I know I just had a really good example of this on our page. So if you go to, let's say, a post and then you drop a link in the caption for people to check out, like your specific listing, for example, it doesn't hyperlink. And I think it's probably something Instagram does to keep spam down, because if you got links on links on links in all of your comments and stuff, like bots would probably take over Instagram. So instead, you can put one fantastic link up here in your bio that helps people find everything you're looking for. I use Linktree because it's free, it's super easy. So once you click on that link on Linktree, it opens the Linktree website, which again, R Rodriguez 253, same handle. So it'd be Ashley Dix Realty, Going Homes, etc. In here, I've selected a couple different spots that people can find other ways to connect with me. So I've got a Let's Stay in Touch, which is basically like a client fill out form. It just asks for like contact info and if they're interested in buying, if they're renting, etc. Here is a click for a free CMA. It just goes back to my website, to my CMA request page, my website's landing page, my Facebook business page, my LinkedIn business page, and then our office page, which is totally optional. You don't have to have that on here either. But you can see that my branding is pretty cohesive across my Instagram, across my Facebook. I've got my personal logo, which I know, Michelle, you've got one for you. We can make sure to get it everywhere. I've also got it here, and I've got it in most of my posts. I don't think it's necessary to like stamp my little logo on the corner of every post, but I do like kind of peekaboo hiding it across my posts because I think it creates a brand standard without being too like in your face, you know, like that is subtle enough for me. How are you guys doing so far? Does all of this kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. So that is all good, right? Like you can see that I've got my username here. It connects to our business page. I've got my link tree going. I also want to show you guys this cool thing that I just discovered last week. I have not actually tried it yet myself, but I ordered one and it's coming in the mail. Excuse me. So this is Popple. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear
No.
him speaking? Okay. So if you can't hear him speaking, that's fine. I'll just sort of explain what he's saying. So he's talking about, you've had an opportunity to meet someone, they lose your business card, or you just take their information in your phone and you don't type in their name right, you don't type in their number right, something happens and you lose that contact. In real estate, anytime someone has expressed interest in staying in contact with you, that's a potential lead, right? Like that's something you want to stay on top of. So this is a little device that you stick on the back of your phone. And basically what it does, it connects to an app that you download in your phone and you fill out all of your links on it. So it's basically the same as this link tree, but in this little button. So I'll show you in just a sec what happens. And the other phone doesn't need to have the Popple app. It just has to be basically a modern phone. But you just take your phone and you push it up against someone else's phone and then bam, they have access to all of your links at once, including your website and including your contact info. So that to me, I thought was huge. I'm someone who's on social media a lot. I love social media. I would love to be able to give someone my business card and have it right in their hot little hand where they could follow my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, etc. I don't need Venmo or WhatsApp, but and then from there, what you can also do is you can turn on this direct option. So if you turn on direct and let's say it selects Instagram, you can change it. Then when someone touches their phone, it's going to automatically load your Instagram page in their Instagram app so they can immediately follow you. I think that's something that's really cool. Just so you guys know, it's, this is some dude in his apartment, it looks like. So it is pretty new. It's only like a year old, new technology, but I think that could be something that's pretty cool and up and coming. Anyway, so after that, everything looks pretty cohesive. I'm feeling good about that. And I think what a lot of brokers do when they want to sort of check on their search engine optimization, they're like, okay, if I look up, I'm glad I don't have any embarrassing searches, but if I look up Robyn Rodriguez real estate, what comes up? Ta-da! Pulls up my Realty One group profile and then my LinkedIn, Facebook, my Alignable, my website. Kind of surprised it doesn't pull up my Instagram, but that is okay. But also, these results aren't exactly true because I have cookies stored on my computer that helps the websites autofill the right answers so I get to where I want to go a little bit faster. So instead of just Googling yourself, it's super important to open an incognito window. So I use Google Chrome. It's called an incognito window. In Safari, I think it's a private browsing session. Let's take a peek here. Come on. Sorry, my mouse batteries are dying a little bit. So in Safari, it's a new private window is what it's called, but I'm gonna open an incognito private window. And so it's not gonna, Chrome isn't gonna save your browsing history, your cookies and site data, but you're not completely invisible. Like if you were at the office or something, for example, and let's say you accidentally stumbled upon a bad website, if you back out of it, it's fine. But if we saw that you were lurking, doing stuff that's inappropriate at the office, that's stuff that would still be able to view. So just so you know, and just so your kids know, incognito mode is not actually completely private. It's just more private. But so if we go to Google, and then you can see that you're not signed in anywhere. It's this black page, looks good. So I'm going to look up Robyn Rodriguez. Okay. First thing that pulls up is this really cool author. I can't really compete with her search engine results because she's a boss and she's been a boss for a really long time. So that's why instead of focusing on myself as a business as Robyn Rodriguez, I did Robyn Rodriguez Real Estate in the hopes that when people look that up, they find better results about me. And I'm right. So on here, when you look up Robyn Rodriguez Real Estate, you can see that it brings up my profile here. And this is my bio profile on our ROGTK website. So I can show you guys how to update this as well. This is accessible through Zone. The first time we sign you guys into Zone, I think both of you gave me your bios ahead of time, so I uploaded them on there. But once you get that uploaded and we make your account go live in Realty One Group's backend, it pushes all that information. So it pushes your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, etc. All the information I input for you gets pushed to your website, which is awesome, but then it's kind of a one and done. So if you need to go in here and update any of this information, it's good to update it in Zone, and then it's good to update it on your actual website itself. Something I'd love for you guys to check today is go and click on these links, and you'll see here at the bottom, it'll show you like a little preview of what the URL is, but just make sure all the links we have in there for you are working. Because just in case someone finds this as their top search result and you want them to follow you on social media, you want them to be able to click on that link and have it bring them to your social page. So,
Okay.
yeah, cool. Alignable is kind of a newer social media site. However, it's super on trend right now. So I joined Alignable. It hasn't been super helpful for me yet, but it definitely could be. I think this is similar to Clubhouse. This is more like LinkedIn. Alignable is where you can like connect with other brokers, collect with local folks in the area that could benefit your business. It doesn't really ask too many questions of you, whereas Clubhouse is more like dropping into group chat sessions and talking with other professionals about like specific things. So Alignable is more helpful if I'm looking for vendors in the area, and then Clubhouse is a better social app if I'm looking for advice from other Tacoma real estate agents, for example. Okay, so everything looks good. I always like to check images too, just to see what pulls up to make sure there's nothing too funky associated with my name. Everything here looks pretty good to me. You know, this is my website, that's my Facebook, this is one of our agents, this is our old page, etc. So nothing too sketchy on here. I think, however, it can always be a good idea to look up your personal name too. So like I said, since I legally changed my name, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, there's not going to be a lot that pulls up for me. However, if you have a common name or a previous name that has a longer search history, there might be more that shows up. So for example, I just looked up my name. It pulls up an old GoFundMe, which is fine. It pulls up a Relay for Life cancer thing, which is fine. I don't know what this is. It's definitely me, but I have no idea what Trifecta is about. Oh, I wrote a review for an agent. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, who is Trifecta? However, if I look up my name, Robyn Bianchin, I can see that my HomeSnap account is still associated with, oh my God. I remember my boss put this picture in here as a joke for me in 2014. It was like a selfie that I had posted on Facebook. And so when he created this account for me, you put that picture in there. So like sometimes looking up your past or your previous name or your previous DBA is a good thing because it kind of shows you where your loose ends are. So HomeSnap is something I need to go back and fix. My GoFundMe is fine. My old Pinterest. So before I was Realty One Group Turnkey, I helped set up Realty One Group in Bellevue. I can't delete this because it was someone that our office admin, she just put my name in it, and then I don't have the credentials to fix this. But there's also nothing here, so it's not a big hill of beans. There's nothing sketchy in here because I have a pretty tidy past. Some of our agents, I know you guys have a longer history. You know, maybe there was a MySpace page that pulled up and you were trying to be your hometown's famous rapper. Or maybe, you know, there was mention of you in the local paper or something and you don't want that pulling up. Let me know if you find things like that. And then depending on the website, I can help you work backwards to have them taken down. For me, my home snap, I can fix easily myself. My GoFundMe is whatever. People see that I'm nice and I have cancer and people like me. And then my Pinterest also doesn't serve me, but it doesn't harm me. So it's kind of not a big deal. I wouldn't waste any energy really on fixing that more than the hour I already spent trying to log in and make it right. How are you guys doing? Does that stuff kind of make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then,
Yeah, that all makes sense.
okay, cool. From there, I think it's kind of good to see what other people are doing that you want to be associated with. So for example, if I look up Tacoma real estate, I know that I'm not going to show up in these first few pages, right? Like it's just not going to happen. These was like these monster sites like Zillow, Redfin, etc. They are going to dominate. But once you get past some of those bigger beefcake sites, you're going to start getting into websites that are broker specific. And so once you start getting to those, you know, Sotheby's is a pretty big beast, but move to Tacoma.com. Like you can
Robyn, are you still on incognito or did you get out of that?
No, I'm still in incognito because if I look up Tacoma real estate under a non-incognito window, it's probably going to pull up like our office, Team Tuttle. Like it's going to pull up the search results based on what it knows I already like and what I
got it.
So this is an agent named Marguerite. I don't know Marguerite, but I have looked at her site before. She puts out really regular content and it's all super helpful. You know, like I like our homekeeper blogs and stuff, but they're kind of like generic blogs just about homeownership in general. Marguerite's here are about local stuff specifically. She talks about specifically Pierce County, specifically Tacoma, how to sell a rental. Like there's a lot of her brand of knowledge on here, and I think that is huge. You know, Ashley, like you could create like a blog about Bremerton. Michelle, your super strength is like first time home buyers. That's something you could talk about, or your flat rate listings. Like those are all pieces of information that you can repeatedly hit on. And sort of, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like having money, right? Like the people I know that have a lot of money don't talk about having a lot of money. You just can tell, you know, like they've got like clothes that are fitted to them, like their boots are never scuffed, like they have the new iPhone in their hand. They're not bragging about it, but they have that sort of quiet quality feeling. Sort of telling people that you know everything there is to know about real estate is kind of the same way. Like you don't want to come across being like, you know, ask me anything. I'm the best broker in town. Like I'm ready to help. It's like, cool. That could be totally true. But to some people, like you're not the right fit. To some people, you aren't the best broker in town. So advertising yourself as such, I just feel like it could be not setting yourself up for failure, but selling yourself as a resource and as a trusted guide, and sort of showing, instead of saying, you know, like she talks about who she is and what she does, but she also posts, she puts her money where her mouth is and has all these different blog posts about moving to Tacoma specifically and Pierce County specifically that build trust in her. You know, like, I don't know this person, but if I was just some rookie looking on the internet and I saw all of this, oh my gosh, I would totally buy a house with her. Like, she apparently knows her stuff. So that's always something to keep in mind too. Like, looking up other websites and being like, okay, what is my competition doing? And what are they doing really well? Like, they are utilizing video. They are, I don't know, this website isn't, not to talk smack if the Hume group ever sees this, but this website is cookie cutter. Like, this is not that different than our sync website. We can put video on our website front. We just only have video content of Tacoma. So Ashley, if you wanted video content of Bremerton, Michelle, if you could pay a videographer for video of Brown Point, have them create something like this to you. This conveys a lot of feelings, like the warm glow, like the pretty bright angles of the city. It tells you a lot about Tacoma without being too in your face. And that's kind of what you guys want to be. You want to be local without sort of, you want to tell people that you are all about local, that you know these areas, that you're ready to help subtly. And I think having everything like this that matches your brand, that matches the area you're farming, is going to be super, super important. All right. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm trying to just like get out a bunch of stuff all at once. From there, just a little tiny thing. I'm having a really hard time with, so I'm going to get out of my incognito window and I'm going to go back to my Google Chrome window. And I'm going to sign into my business account. I should have a Google My Business. And for some reason, I cannot verify my listing. And it's driving me bonkers because it's been over 3 days. And so I tried to reach out to Google support to get it fixed. And they said that I needed a signage of my office. And I said, well, I'm an independent business who's working within 1302 North I Street. You know, that is where I'm working. And I think what happened is, because before, when you made a business listing, you were able to say, I work inside of this address. So if you gave like an office address, you were filed as one of the businesses that worked within that office. Something has changed in Google My Business where I can't seem to get past that now. I am trying to fix this. If I don't have luck, I'm going to come up with a new idea and let you guys know. But I think having a Google My Business page can be super helpful because Google always wants to find its own results. Like, Google owns YouTube. Google owns a lot of the internet. You want to be showing up on Google. So right now, I don't have a bunch of videos talking about first-time home buyers, talking about moving to Tacoma, because I've been trying to get my feet under me as my own business. But in the future, hopefully come spring, I'm writing out a list of ideas of like just a calendar of content. And some of the stuff that I want to incorporate in my content is talking about local areas and things to do locally, etc. So maybe I'll spend one Saturday later this month talking to 3 different businesses or restaurant owners or what have you, and say like, okay, so the first Friday of the next 3 months, I'm going to be talking about your business. I'm going to promote the post, and I'm going to do a giveaway for a $50 gift certificate to your restaurant if people like and comment on my business page. Like, small businesses are happy to do that with you. They're willing to share your advertisements or your posts to their sphere, and then you get more localized people looking at what you're doing. I think if you do end up having a Google business page and it does work for you, like Michelle, I think you are working on that. One of the biggest things I see on here that people miss is they don't have a photo of their business card. People love that. It is such an important photo to have on here. Like, it's cool to have pictures of you like at the office, showing clients, etc. But make sure you have your business card information on here as well. Okay, so from here, you guys are probably like, all right, I want to keep focusing on local, but I don't really know how to find local people. So I'm going to show you something that I do kind of as a hack. So I'm on Instagram right now, and you can look up Tacoma real estate, etc. But if I can just look up Tacoma, Washington, you'll see this little pin, and that says that it's a location. So you click on that, and forgive me anything weird that pops up. We do have bikini baristas in Western Washington for anyone watching, and that's why sometimes there's scantily clothed people in lingerie. But when I look up Tacoma, Washington, there's a lot of different things that come up. So if let's say she looks like a professional, she is, I don't know who this person is. Let's see. She is a fashion, beauty, life influencer. So she's someone that we could follow and comment on her posts in the hopes that other people see your comments and start liking your posts. But your interaction with people who are local is going to help other people that are local discover you. So for example, if I go to, let's say, my business page, and then I'm going to view it as a visitor. Down here at the bottom, a lot of times it will come up with similar pages. And so similar pages are going to be other pages similar to my page that people can click on in case they're not finding what they want here. Because like I said, Facebook wants to keep you on the page. They want to keep your advertising money. They want to keep people within Facebook and find search results on Facebook. So one of the big things I do with you guys is I will ask you to like people's pages. So for example, I help Andrew with his business page. So if I go on here, I would say invite friends. And then you can click on here, and instead of clicking all friends, I would go to the ROGTK brokers and then select invites. So when our brokers like each other's pages, so when, let's say, Michelle, you like Ashley's, Ashley likes yours, that means there's a better chance of correlation of if someone's on Ashley's page and let's say they're just not sure that Ashley works in the locations that they're hoping for, it could show Michelle's page as a suggested alternative option. So we're trying to create like a little tiny net. On February 9th, we are going to have head honcho, this Brian Trakel guy from Realty One Group. He's going to be doing a Tech Tuesday for us where we dive in really deep to LinkedIn and changing your LinkedIn to get you more within Realty One Group search results. Because like I said, we want to kind of keep our referral business within the one family as well. Does this make sense, guys? So
yeah,
let's say, what's a coffee shop you like in Bremerton, Ashley?
I like the Austin Chase coffee shop.
All right, Austin Chase on Mickleberry?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go to this page, and there's a lot of posts. So I'm going to click on here, Barefooted Painter. So I don't really want to follow them, but I can go on here. And it's like, okay, this is someone who probably lives in the area, right? This is someone that you could follow as a client. So I do a little bit of light stalking, sort of see like, she looks good. This looks like someone I could work with potentially. Looks like she's got an ouchie there, so I'm going to skip on past that. But this is someone that you could follow, and then she could follow your page back. Because a lot of people just don't have someone they know in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're posting, regular content about real estate, she's going to see that you followed her. She's going to click on your page to see who you are. She's going to look at your content and be like, oh, okay, like I can get down with this, and likely follow you. And then as time goes on and you sometimes comment on her posts and she sees your stories, there's a good chance eventually she's going to reach out to you with her real estate questions. So that's what I would do. Sometimes,
Okay.
even if you don't want to follow these people, like I, apparently she's an Austin Chase coffee. There's nothing about that in there, but you know, you can like these people's posts,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a chance that they'll come back and follow you as well,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So you can look things up by location. You can also look up things that are local specific. So like, I don't know. Let me think. No, let's stick with coffee. So I'm going to go Valhalla Coffee Co. So I can either click here, or I can go back up to the search result and put the hashtag in. Look up Valhalla Coffee. And then from here, it will show me a lot of different Valhalla coffees. So I've got, this is probably not in the United States. So I
Mm-hmm.
might skip that one, but this one's definitely in the United States. So I'm gonna click Dine with Diana, and she's in Seattle, Washington. She likes to support local business. I'd hit follow. And then if she follows me back, just personally, my own thing is if she decides to follow me back, I'll send her a little message and be like, hey, friend, thank you so much for following me. Like, if you have any questions about my posts, I'm your real estate expert. Feel free to let me know. Usually it's something I copy and paste. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do it so much on this account as I do when I'm trying to recruit agents off of our other account, but just reaching out to someone and starting the conversation is helpful. And then as time goes on, let's say Danny was a broker that I was trying to recruit. I usually spend, I call them like 15 mindless minutes at the end of the day, where I will find people's stories and I'll just sort of watch these and be like, okay, she's talking about thankfulness or gratitude 253 in Sumner. So I'm just going to send the clapping hands or whatever. But as time goes on, if she responds to those clapping hands and if she decides to like send a heart back or something, I could ask her like, what is gratitude 253? That sounds awesome. What do you love about Sumner? Like, social media is great because you're directly talking to the person you want to be talking to. Like, there's not really spam filters. Like, you might go into an alternative inbox, but people are still going to see your messages. It's not quite like with email where you can spam 600 accounts and then 5 people report you and then you get 5 potential leads out of it. This is a lot more time intensive, but I think the quality of the leads you can get from social media are really helpful. I'm on our social media pretty often, so I kind of follow a bunch of groups, but like, for example, we've got this Realty One group, Western Washington group. This is like groups like this. These are the places to get referrals. You can look up Realty One group referrals. You can look up Washington referrals. You can look up kind of, your social media shouldn't be something that always exhausts you. Like, it's not going to be evergreen and it's not going to be consistent if you just do it in spurts, right? Like, you want to keep your social media something that doesn't take a lot of energy and time away from you, because sometimes it will, right? Like, social media is how a lot of people express their feelings, and it can be really hard to be on here. So I think joining groups that you're interested in, joining groups like, I do the buy, sell, trade Tacoma. Dude, there's a bunch of groups that should pull up. Yeah, so it's kind of Tacoma buy, sell, or trade, blah, blah, blah. I'll go in here, and then when people post questions, like, a lot of times people are just posting stuff they sell. But if someone's selling a lot of furniture, for example, or they say something about downsizing, not a bad time to like them, like the post, and then write a comment like sending you a direct message, and then send them a message and be like, hey, I saw you were downsizing, super cool. I love the Marie Kondo method, blah, blah, blah. Are you moving soon? And then offer your services like, I'm not sure if you're working with an agent, but I would be happy to answer any of your questions. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Take care. And chances are they won't respond. But if they do, you've already sort of built a connection with them right off the bat because you're not going through their email. They know that it was you that specifically sent that message to them versus, I think people get really offended when they feel like people aren't giving personal touches. Like I get texts from brokerages that are like, hi, so-and-so, fill in the blank here. Would you be interested in joining Remax? And it's like, dude, you don't know me. Like, this is someone that found my name and like is texting me on a chain. Like it doesn't say anything about me. It doesn't say anything about my business. Like I'm just not interested. People are going to react the same if you don't offer them something of value and something that shows that you are candidly working to represent them. So yeah, that is my like super brief, kind of all over the place overview. How are you guys feeling?
Good.
Good.
Just
Okay.
taking it all in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's super brief. Those are just like some really bare bones things. It's basically making sure you've got cohesion with your name and locations across all of your brand. Look yourself up in an incognito mode to make sure there's nothing from your past that you need to deal with. Like, for example, I have to deal with my home snap. That's fine. But, just sort of see if there's any loose ends. And then from there, just start following local. Start focusing on local areas to target because as time goes on, we're going to talk more about like reaching out to lenders and getting specific lists of like renters in a specific neighborhood or, buyers that might be interested in selling their homes in other neighborhood where there's a lot of people moving out rather than moving in. There's a lot of things we can dive in deeper to, but the things we went over today are just super basic, like building blocks. I think having your pencil sharpened before we start the test kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
All right, guys. Michelle, do you have any questions, my dear, if you're still with us?
I'm still here. Nope. That was helpful. Like you said, it's just kind of like, I don't know, not a start, but kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's setting yourself up for success.
Right.
It's making a budget before you go out shopping.
Yeah, exactly. Quick question, because I'm old and I don't have this and I don't even know how it works, but Snapchat, is that really a thing? Like business wise, does anybody use that in a business?
No. So Snapchat, when I first got Snapchat, it was right around the same time as Tinder, and that's kind of the joke, is that that's what everybody used it for. Was like sending pictures to each other that would disappear immediately. Because that's kind of the allure of Snapchat, is sending an untraceable message.
Yeah.
I just don't think that translates very well to real estate. I think if you want to get behind trendy apps and stuff, there's TikTok, which, will help your search engine optimization because that is a website that is getting a ton of traffic. So if you used, Tacoma Real Estate, Going Homes, Browns Point Real Estate, whatever, like there's probably a lot of people that aren't using those hashtags and making video content in that area. But people also expect TikToks to be kind of funny, kind of dorky, kind of weird. So unless you have that angle, you might be better off just taking like a video and making an Instagram reel. I think, Yeah, I just
What
don't think Snapchat has the longevity.
I honestly, I think I like tried it for like 2.5 seconds. I don't even know how it works. I just, I was
Yeah.
like, is this also Twitter? Like, I don't use Twitter.
Okay,
How
so true
important do
story.
you think that is?
I hate Twitter so much, but oh my God, I hate Twitter so much. I think it is a cancer in our society. But Twitter can be helpful. So I personally don't really check my Twitter ever. I don't really go on Twitter ever. But since Twitter is such a big website that gets so much traffic, it's kind of foolish to completely write it off. So I do the I half-ass it. Basically what I do, I never share the same posts to Facebook and Instagram at the same time. I always copy and paste my caption, update it so it's Facebook friendly, update it so it's Instagram friendly, etc. But what I do for Twitter is instead of creating a new tweet, I just share my Instagram post as a tweet because then what it does, it like sends the link over, but it also sends all those hashtags and stuff over. And then as those pages refresh, as people come across my page, it can benefit my SEO and hopefully lead people to my other pages, just like the link tree, right? Like I want my Twitter, I'll have something tagged at the top or pinned at the top of my Twitter account that says like, follow me on Facebook and Instagram and my website at blah, blah, blah. And then I just literally never check it. So it's like it's working for me, but I don't do anything with it. It's kind of the way websites worked for people like in the early 2000s. And now there's just so many of them that your website isn't going to garner you a ton of visibility, you know?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But Twitter is a lot of people screaming into the void with no specific subject that they're talking about. So, yeah, just be wary. I think any social media that takes a lot out of you emotionally is not worth using. And I know that I talk all the time about like how much it matters to do consistent posting. You know, you want to try to keep it up. Like if you're doing it every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 8, try to do it every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 8. But these are crazy times. There is so much going on in the world, in our country, politically, in our towns, that like if your social media starts to feel like it's weighing down on you, you can drop it for a few weeks and then pick it back up. You can ask me to help you manage it. We can schedule posts for 2 weeks so you can plan on taking 2 weeks off. They won't perform as well as your organic posts, but it's better than nothing. Like as much as I'm all about social media, there is nothing more important to me than you guys and your emotional and mental health. Like your business comes second to that. And social media is definitely something that can be put on pause compared to like when actually dealing with buyers and sellers and such. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much